but you can definitely, it's a great resale market. Franchises resell better than independent businesses because there's a proven model. And you know, when you do business brokerage on the independent side, here's what happens. I want to sell my business. Okay, well, let me show you books and records. Yeah, hold on. Let me get this shoebox. Hold on. Here's all my receipts. Hang on, I got this bag of bills over here, and they come in. My brother-in-law he keeps all my. It's on a legal pad. So you try to recreate and recast financials and tax returns, and it's very, very difficult to make heads or tails of independent financials. In most cases, it's more the rule than not. Franchise, there's no place to hide. Everything's automated. You know every dollar that goes in the cash register, labor costs, food costs, whatever it is. So you have great books and records. It's the #1 issue when you're buying and selling businesses. How are the books and records? If you don't have good books and records, you cut the value of your business in half. But you can't justify it.
Well, that's really been what I've been struggling with. I mean, I'm looking at purchasing something in, you know, if you talk pizza places or massage envies, you know, Eddie's Pizza, but, you know, I look at that and it just looks like a black hole to me, as opposed to buying a franchise. But I guess my real question was, you know, if you buy a franchise and flip it, you know, what kind of time frame would that be when, you know, start from zero and grow it? Is it a 2-year, 5-year, 10-year?
It's a strategy that you develop here. You have to plan for your exit. So I tell people if they're going to sell their business, you need to start a good 18 months because you usually need 2 good years of tax returns. So you usually need to prepare a business. If you were going to sell it, you do everything right. You don't try to hide anything. If somebody gives you $10 in cash, you put it in the cash register. So, but resales on franchises are every bit as good. Now, I'll give you. I'm sorry, I'm going way off the subject here, but there's another strategy that people do in franchises. It's called an acquire and convert strategy, and it's a great strategy. It works a lot with a client that's doing this in Atlanta right now, where they basically get the franchise. I like the model. I like the systems. I understand the marketing. They're a great brand. Doesn't exist there. I don't necessarily want to build that from scratch. So what a lot of folks will do is they'll go out, they'll buy a franchise, then they go out and find a small business to acquire, and they convert that business to a franchise. What do you gain from that? You gain cash flow right out of the gate. So if you got a business doing $300,000 or $400,000 worth of revenue, and you buy it for $150,000, you may end up paying about the same as if you were to build out a brand new store. You convert that over a 2 to 3 month period. You put all new signage on it. You put all the new equipment in there, and now you've rebranded that as Brand X franchise with a cash flow that's existing. You need to hold on to the customers and do all that, obviously, but in most cases, that's a great strategy. You see that a lot with sign companies and printing companies. Just some facts. We got a lot of young people, baby boomers. There's a lot of vets coming back. I work with a lot of veterans coming back from the Afghan war and all that. There's a lot of programs in place for if anybody in here is a vet and looking at franchising. There's a vet fran discount. There's MWBE discounts in some cases. There's people applying. 3 years ago, people were buying jobs. Now that the economy's coming back, they're buying businesses again. So it's kind of exciting. Success value, obviously want to go that way. These are just 10 steps. I'll blast through these really quickly. But in accountability, it's you. You've got to own it. Nobody's going to help you. You've got to believe it. You've got to be accountable for you. I love this quote, no snowflake in an avalanche ever feels responsible. Okay? So it's you. You've got to do it yourself. You have to own it. You have to have realistic expectations. You know, I want to make $1 million in the first year. I don't have any working capital. I'm quitting my current job to start my business. I can't tell you how many times I hear that. This is great. You know what? Everybody knows me in this town. And I'm going to build this business, and they're all going to come and do business with me. They're all going to help me. They're all going to buy from me. My kids are going to work for me. God, I can't tell you how many times. And you know what? Maybe they do for 2 or 3 months. But then they fall in love and move to Chicago, and you're going, what do I do with this business? I don't need working capital because I'll be profitable from the beginning. Guess what? Ain't gonna happen. I'll take evenings and weekends off because I'm the boss. You know, this is one of the world's greatest misnomers. People, when you own a business, everybody will naturally assume you have lived in this big house, you got a garage full of Mercedes-Benz, and you take 10 vacations a year on luxury yachts. They just assume that because you own a business. Ain't gonna happen. And guess who gets paid last? Rule number 1, boss always gets paid last. Determine what you want. If you really want to do it, will you do what it takes to get it? Be specific, don't overanalyze. Again, analysis paralysis. You can talk yourself out of anything you want. I'm working with a great client now in Connecticut. They're moving to Florida. I'm so excited for them. They're buying a spa franchise. They're just so excited. They've gone through everything. I spent 2 hours with them the other night finalizing their business plan and their financials and their budgets and performance and all this stuff. And they said something to me that really struck me. I said, we got to get this done. I said, why? I said, because we're dying to tell people. I said, you've been at this for 4 months, you haven't told anybody? She goes, we don't want to tell anybody because we're afraid they'll talk us out of it. So they want it really bad, and they know what it's going to take to do it. Who's your customer? Develop a strategy. Purpose of a business plan. For those of you who hopefully, and I encourage you all to take the next step, whatever it is, owning a business is the most rewarding thing that I've ever had done in my life other than get married and have kids. It's just the greatest thing in the world. But do your work. Do the work. Develop a business plan. Can't tell you how many times, Bill, we write a business plan. Oh yeah, I'm going to get it to you next week. And 3 weeks later, I'm going to get it to you next week, and next week, and next week. It doesn't happen. And I was guilty of that too. But as I became more mature in my business approach, I understood clearly the importance of that business plan.